6 years, Mario Lemieux and the Pittsburgh Penguins face the Capitals in the playoffs. The guns of Yager and Nedved make up one of the most explosive teams in the NHL against a Capitals team that must grind and work to win. In Game 1, Pittsburgh chased Jim Carey. Kolzig came on in relief. And then, one of the most improbable comebacks in playoff history occurred. The Pens could not hang on to a 4-1 lead. Lost it 6-4. Mario didn't want to talk to anybody. From Pittsburgh, this is Game 2 in the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. A surprise winner in the first game, the Washington Capitals. Pittsburgh tries to even it up here tonight. Hello, everybody. Gary Thorne, welcome to Pittsburgh. Great to have you with us for this one. Washington, over the years, has always had it said they can't get beyond the first round. One of the surprises is they win a lot of first games in a series and then can't go on to win the series. Will it happen again? Well, that's what they're up against tonight. The Pittsburgh Penguins devastated. A come-from-behind loss by Washington. Two teams who come at it in different ways.
Well, Pittsburgh is used to Washington's style, and naturally in the first round of the playoffs, when you've got 8 different series, you've got contrasting styles going up against one another. I don't think any styles contrast more than the Penguins and the Washington Capitals. The Penguins are the glamour guys. The Washington Capitals are the grunts and the grinders. And the Pittsburgh Penguins are the glamour guys because they score. In any sport, if you are a scorer, you are a glamour guy. I think Mario Lemieux and Jaromir Jagr qualify. Don't get me wrong. Washington has one glamour player, a 52-goal scorer, Peter Bondra. He played head-to-head against the Lemieux line in Game 1. Do not expect that to happen in Game 2. Pittsburgh is going to change gears, get a checking line out there against the Bondra line. Already Washington has Pittsburgh out of Plan A and going to Plan B, advantage Washington.
Second time in 2 years, Jim Carey did not make it through Game 1 in net for the Washington Capitals. So the suspense today, who would be in net?
Jim Schoenfeld would tell no one. You never know with Jim Schoenfeld. He loves to keep the opposition off balance, so he said, I'm not announcing, I'm not announcing. He went so far as to, listen, this is in the warm-up. Almost exclusively, the starting goalie comes out first. That is Jim Carey. He came onto the ice first. Everybody in the press box and the broadcast positions was buzzing. It's Carey. It's Carey. Guess what, everybody? We just got word it is Olaf Kolzig, the man that came in relief in Game 1 and picked up the win for the Washington Capitals. Jim Schoenfeld has done it again.
He has never started a playoff game. His appearances have all been in relief. Kolzig will get the start tonight. Jim Schoenfeld may have kept us in suspense in the press box, but down in the locker room, very clear on what he wants his team to do.
All we have to do is win one game 4 times. So we're not looking at winning 4 out of 7. We're not looking at winning 4 games tonight. We're going to go out and try to win the first period. When that's over, try to win the second, and just take it a shift at a time, a period at a time. I know that's cliche, but that's the way we have to approach it.
Well, they got it done in Game 1. Pittsburgh was absolutely devastated, getting a 4-1 lead in that game and not being able to preserve it. There were hardly words to describe what happened to them. Writers tried, the team tried, nobody could. Mario Lemieux said it is not going to happen again. He left after Game 1 without talking to anybody. Tonight, he's back.
The best spring values are at Toyota. There's Camrys with lower payments and hundreds in savings. Camry's one of 11 Toyotas rated best overall value. Get bigger value with a 6-passenger Toyota Avalon. Better value, bigger savings at your Toyota dealer now.
See the light with pay-per-view. Without leaving home, you can get the newest hit movies and biggest special events. Check out this month's best on pay-per-view.
There are no victims in this classroom.
Let's give it to him, girl.
You are so real.
And when you order pay-per-view, you'll also get our free monthly catalog, filled with at-a-glance schedules, colorful event highlights, a movie planner, complete ordering instructions, and more. To order pay-per-view, call the number on your screen today.
Picking him to win the West in '96. But Piazza, Caros, and Mondesi know they'll have to put up numbers all year long if they want to play in October. The Dodgers battle the Marlins at 8, the Sunday game of the week. This week on ESPN.
ESPN's coverage of the Stanley Cup playoffs is brought to you by Isuzu, makers of incredible four-wheel drives, by MasterCard, the official card of the NHL, and by McDonald's. Have you had your break today?
Welcome once again to the Stanley Cup playoffs here on ESPN. John Saunders and Barry Melrose. We'll get to your game in just a moment, but first let's look at the other two games that will be dropping the puck shortly. Detroit against Winnipeg. Detroit got the win, but Winnipeg played very well.
They played very well, John. They did a lot of good things early that they should continue to do. One of the best things they did early was stand up at the blue line. They didn't let Winnipeg or Detroit get outnumbered chances. No 2-on-1s, no 3-on-1s. You see 4 guys abreast, that's excellent. They do that the rest of the game, the whole game, not just in the first period. They did a good job of plugging up the slot area. Look, if they want to go across, that pass is taken away most of the night. Those are things they did well, and those are things they got to continue to do, John. Don't sit on a lead if they get it. Attack these guys. Make Detroit play defense. They do have a weakness in that area, believe it or not, in their own zone, and Winnipeg can exploit it with their skill.
Winnipeg has beaten Detroit twice this year. Do they have the confidence to do it, though, in a 7-game series?
That last game hurt them because they had a 1-0 lead late into the game and then completely fell apart. So, yeah, that hurt them a lot. It'll be interesting to see how they respond tonight, John.
The Calgary Flames, meanwhile, have not won a playoff series since they won the Cup in 1989. They're down 1-0 to Chicago.
Again, this is a team that's totally unmatched. The Roberts injury killed them. This guy was playing so well with Fleury and Roberts. They're a great combination. They miss him immensely, and with the way the other guys are playing, Rowan comes back to Chicago, the rich get richer, and he looked very good. He was quick. His conditioning looked very good. He was aggressive. He was intense. That's bad news for the Calgary Flames, as you see on the assist there. But the guy who really carried them last night, Joe Murphy. Remember Murphy from Edmonton's last Stanley Cup win? Him, Graves, and Martin Gilina formed that kid line. It was unbelievable. Murphy looked quick. He looked intense. He looked aggressive, just like Rowan. This guy's a heck of a hockey player. They tried to trade him all year. I think that was the best game he played in maybe 2 months. So look out for Murphy to be a leader. Nichols played very well, but Rowan back is the key.
You said it at the start of the playoffs, that Chicago is a team that can stop Detroit.
I think they're the only team. I've watched Colorado play a bunch. They've got some holes in their own zone, as we saw last night. Chicago's got great defense. They skate very well, good goaltending, and forwards that can score. Just I'm talking about Winnipeg. Chicago forwards can score. We saw that Murphy, Rowan, Nichols, Savard. They can attack Detroit, and that's how you got to beat them. You can't beat these guys 1-0. You got to beat them 3-2, 4-3 situations.
Of course, you also picked New Jersey to
That
win.
was next year. New Jersey next year. People got the year wrong.
Win the Stanley Cup. Now, that's an 8:30 start, that Chicago game, but the latest start in this rotation is a real late one. It doesn't start till Monday. That one between the Panthers and the Bruins, because Garth Brooks is in concert there. I know you'll like that.
I love Garth Brooks.
He'll fly down to Miami for that. Let's remind you, tomorrow on ESPN, we have more Stanley Cup coverage. The Avalanche and the Canucks, 7:30 Eastern time. That is tomorrow night. So stick around. We'll see you between periods, and we'll get to dropping the puck right after this.
You said you had fished here before. Don't start. You're lost, aren't you?
No.
Come on.
No.
Come on, you can admit it.
No.
Come on, tell me.
I'm not lost. I know where we are. I know it's the
374-900-42.
Account code.
963400.
Key code. Since the last thing you need is one more number to remember, MasterCard is developing the single-digit PIN code. Someday, a computer chip in your card will recognize your unique mark, so your personal identification code is personal. It's how the future will be paid for. MasterCard. It's smart money.
Crowd ready to go here at Pittsburgh as the Pens will try and even up this series against Washington, losing 6-4 in that opener. The man who will make his first ever playoff start and appear in just his 4th ever playoff game. 26-year-old Olaf Kolzig.
He has been waiting for his chance for a number of years in Washington's organization. He was their first-round pick in 1989. He gets his first playoff start. A big boy, 6'3", 225, and loose. Great sense of humor. He sure looked ready in the warm-up.
31 years old, 9-9, lifetime against Washington in the playoffs. The loser of Game 1, Tom Barrasso. So the netminders, the veteran in Barrasso, and Kolzig, the 26-year-old, who's a veteran of pro hockey, but not a lot of NHL games. Mario will not start it in this first first line as Ronnie Francis will come out with Yager and Nedved. Jaromir Yager out there on the wing with Ron Francis. He's on the right side. Face-off, Michael Pivonka moves out to take it against Ron Francis. Draw will be won and sent into the zone by Stefan Ustor. Expect to see the Pittsburgh Penguins just come out and try and annihilate Washington early. They really want to jump on the Caps for their own sake after what happened in that game. They lost that 4-1 lead in Game 1. Caps come right out and match up here as they changed up immediately with Lemieux not out on the ice to start it. Pittsburgh trying to move through the middle. Zubov was dumped in. Ronnie Francis couldn't handle. Mark Tenorti cleared it back. And a little too far on this one. This will be an icing call. Mark Fawcett, our referee. Shane Heyer. Jay Schurz are the line.
One of the things that we're going to watch for is Washington's matchup. They already went for a quick change. Jim Schoenfeld pulled off his defenseman. One thing he wants is Mark Tenorti, number 24 for the Washington Caps, out there against Jaromir Jagr. He had it his way in Game 1. Really, Eddie Johnson didn't try to keep any of the matchups away that Jim Schoenfeld wanted in Game 1. And why should he have for most of the game? The Pittsburgh Penguins were up 4-1.
Mario Lemieux has come out on the ice here. Late change by Eddie Johnston as he gets Thomas Sandstrom to come out with Kelly Miller, who's going to stay on this line. Kelly Miller working up here from the third line to the first line. One back along the near side boards. Miller, Johnston said, has moved up to play with Mario Lemieux to try and create some more offense on this first line. Lemieux turns it back up onto the point. Shot there, deflected out deep, did not go through Pivonka. And the Capitals will clear it back. Peter Bondra moving through the middle. Bondra's shot deflected out deep, right off the skate that time of the defenseman. Through center, Kelly Miller. The Pittsburgh Penguins had one of the most lackluster warm-ups I've ever seen today. They were hardly skating before this game. Eddie Johnston really gave it to him yesterday and told them he's all through being a nice guy. That he is, well, I can't tell you what he said he's going to be, but yes. And I don't know if that was a reaction to it or not, but boy, did they have a miserable warm-up.
Yep. They might have followed the music. We were wondering who chose the music because it was like put me to sleep kind of music. Usually it's hard driving rock music. Penguins look like they're ready to play that hit by Sandstrom, but boy, everybody was so laid back in the warm-up. It was incredible. The one thing the Penguins did admit, I asked a number of them this morning, I said, listen, you guys had a 4-1 lead. Who changed the way they played? You or the Washington Caps that led to you losing? They all said, we did.
They're all convinced that they lost that game. Krieger sends it in. Juno's shot knocked down by Barrasso, and he will hang on. 18:41 to go here, just underway in the first. Joey Juno had 3 assists in the first game. He thought he was going to get 4, but didn't give it to him.
Mario Lemieux will undoubtedly play against the same 2 Washington defensemen that he did in Game 1. Jim Schoenfeld doesn't do very much without a plan. The Pittsburgh Penguins are a little different. They have to rely on the talent of people like Mario Lemieux. Jim Schoenfeld has really a plan for just about everybody that gets onto the ice from Pittsburgh, including Mario Lemieux. This is one man that's going to be on the ice all he can get out there if Jim Schoenfeld has his way. Sylvain Cote on one side, Jim Johnson on the other. These are the 2 defensemen that Schoenfeld wants against Mario Lemieux.
J.J. Daniel missing from the Pittsburgh lineup tonight, a defenseman. He took a shot on the foot, not playing. Stoyanov, Wells, Ian Moran, Ed Patterson are the other scratches for Pittsburgh. All the injuries for the Washington Capitals. Lee, Johnson, Zitnik, Jones up there, Witt, Berube. A lot of their stars, Joe Ricci, all injured as they are missing 7 starters, including 2 of their top 3 goal scorers, which made that come from behind win the other night even more amazing.
Gary, Mario Lemieux went right off the ice as soon as we saw Johnson out there with Cote. So Eddie Johnson is not going to put up with the matchups that he put up with in 1. Tenorti has come out now because of the Lemieux change. Tenorti is against Jagr.
Penalty coming up. Zubov dumped it in. Extra skater out. Washington the touch. Jagr didn't like the hit. And they go back and forth. Was well after the whistle. Jaromir Jagr thought he got banged in the back and came around and took a shot at Mark Tenorti.
Well, if this is anything like Game 1, buckle your seatbelts, everybody, because it's going to be a hard-hitting game. The Capitals usually are the team that initiates. The Pittsburgh Penguins want to at least match the Washington Capitals hitting. I think it would be a mistake for the Penguins to go to a hitting game right away. For one thing, it is not their game. It is not their strength. That is playing to a non-strength and away from your strength, which is continuing to work hard offensively, to find a little bit of D along the way. Here's see how strong Jaromir Jagr is coming through the neutral zone. Michael Pavanka was out there against him.
Oh, yeah. First power play goes to Pittsburgh. They were not very successful on it in the first game as they went 1 for 6 and didn't play it very well. Zubov works out that one of the points on this, along with Francis. They've got Nedved in the middle. Shot by Francis. Save made. Kolzig rebound. Just out of the reach of Lemieux. Shot Francis. Shot Kolzig. Tipped away in the corner by Nedved. Jagr back to Lemieux. Tenardi puts the hit on him. Lemieux dug it out. Ariel Lemieux, Jagr. Jagr trying to back it in front. And it's cleared out of the zone. Joey Juneau giving chase. Zubov coming to get it. Pavanka slashing at 153. Pittsburgh power play 109 power play goals during the regular season. They were #1 overall at home and on the road. And they had the most power play goals, the only team to go over 100. Francis could not get that, got knocked down. Zubov is back on D. Short-handed chance deflected off Zubov's stick. Peter Bondra ran it up, got his own rebound on the near side. Eagles puts the hit on. Pittsburgh breaks it out. Zubov again. Zubov circling to Jagr. A lot of room. Jagr dropped it. Lemieux waiting at the empty net. Couldn't get the shot off. Lemieux still has it. Mario Lemieux back on top. Ronnie Francis. Francis. Nedved. Shot. Score!
Penguins are revved.
You are not going to believe what we're going to show you right now. This is one of the most incredible statistics I have ever seen. The Washington Capitals have allowed a goal within the first 3 shots in 36 of the games this season. It happened in Game 1, and now it's happened in Game 2.
And the amazing thing, it doesn't mean all that much from a Washington standpoint. But good puck movement. Peter Nedved was wide open and let her rip high to the short side. No, the Washington Capitals, if they run and try to force the Penguins power play the way they did on that play and leave Peter Nedved or Jaromir Jagr or Mario Lemieux that wide open, they will commit hockey suicide very quickly in this game.
Nedved finished 12th in the league in goals. He had 2 goals in the first game. He has added to it here, a power play goal and a 1-0 lead for Pittsburgh. Remember, throughout all of this, Pittsburgh had that 4-1 lead in Game 1. Big shot put on the far side. Good hit by Glenn Murray. Whistled here on the offside. So the power play goal by Nedved, his 9th career playoff goal and the 3rd of this series. Francis and Lemieux the assists at 3-0-3. That power play looked pretty darn good. Nedved's a sniper. Showed it to you right there.
You said you had fished here before.
Don't start it.
You're lost, aren't you?
No.
Come on.
No.
Come on, you can admit it.
No.
Come on, tell me.
I'm not lost. I know where we are. I know it's
Yeah?
374-90042.
Account code.
963400.
Key code. Since the last thing you need is one more number to remember, MasterCard is developing the single-digit PIN code. Someday, a computer chip in your card will recognize your unique mark, so your personal identification code is personal. It's how the future will be paid for. MasterCard. It's smart money.
Well, a 1-0 lead on the power play goal picked up by Peter Nedved. Tough way for Kolzig. That's to start his first playoff game. Kolzig, we said, has been in relief, but this is the first start for him.
Yeah, you have to know that there is some nervousness there. The right of your screen, you're going to see, watch all that Kolzig on this pass. Maybe a little overreaction. Either that or he caught his skate. But at one point on this play, before the Penguins scored, he fell and was way out of position. Don't know if it was nerves, don't know if it was a rut in the ice, but he went down.
Kolzig getting the start here. Only 42 NHL games played over
Jim Carrey knows what Olaf Kolzig feels like. This is what happened to Jim Carrey in Game 1. Chris Joseph is in the lineup only because J.J. Daigneault could not answer the bell because of a bad foot, a bad ankle. Dale Hunter fell on J.J. Daigneault's ankle in Game 1. Take that back. It was Kevin Kaminsky fell on his ankle in Game 1. So Daigneault is not in. Joseph is in.
In the first game, Pittsburgh scored at the 2:53 mark and the 3:04 mark by Nedved. Barrasso knocking down Juno's shot. They have now scored twice within the first 4 minutes of this game. 2 goals on 4 shots. Joseph just winding up really to get the puck in front of the net, which is one of the things Eddie Johnston told me he wants to do anyway, no matter who's playing in net. This one.
Mark Tenorti reached for it, but Mark Tenorti wouldn't have hit him, would he? I mean, I didn't watch Tenorti 24 right there. No, I think Olaf Kolzig had a pretty good look at that all the way, and Tenorti is way too smart to have deflected that by his own goalie.
That is the 3rd career goal for Joseph in the playoffs. First this season, Murray and Smolinski at 3:59. This game has started the same way the first one did. Pittsburgh has taken a 2-0 lead. In Game 1, Washington came back and got the 3rd goal of the game. Let's see if that happens here. Todd Krieger moving it in. Krieger the shot, deflected off the near side. Krieger had Ustorf in the middle. Joey Juno's out there on that line with them. Thomas Sandstrom had it chipped away. Sandstrom, a big return. He picked up a goal in that first game for Pittsburgh after he had been out injured since the 18th of March. Came back for Game 1 for the first time. Joey Juno. Barrasso knocks it down. Ustorf held it into Juno. Juno tucked it in behind the net. Played around by Barrasso. Over to get it. Nedved has got a whistle behind the play, and another penalty coming, or was the puck hit with a high stick?
No, I think it's Chris Tamer, the Penguin, that's going off for a high stick.
Well, Mark Fawcett calling him quickly and early here in this one. And Tamer's gone, and the Caps will get a power play.
Well, remember, being down by a couple of goals is no big deal to the Washington Capitals, especially against the Penguins. They've got some 48-hour history to draw from, being down 4-1 in Game 1. And really, when you look at the Penguins, who finished 20th defensively in the league, no lead is too big in one of these games. I don't care who has it, whether it's Washington that has it because of Pittsburgh's offense, or whether it's Pittsburgh's lead because of their lack of defense.
It's exactly the opposite numbers. Pittsburgh, number 1 up there in offense, 20th in defense. Washington, 20th in offense, 3rd in defense. Almost exact flip-flops with these two teams. They are so diametrically different in the way they approach the game because of the talent levels these teams ended up with. There is Nedved out, high sticking on Tamer at 4:38. And a power play opportunity here with the Penguins already leading it 2-0. Faceoff will come to the left of Barrasso. A chance for the Caps to be able to hold this in right off the draw. Pat Peake back in the lineup. Another one of the injured players who had missed 5 games for Washington. Got back to play in Game 1 and is back out there again, taking the faceoff and winning it back to the point. Caps on the power play. They were 1 for 5 in Game 1. Deflected. Zubov trying to clear it out. Just trickled in along the line. Washington. Londras, the man to watch for in the power play. Save made and out of the zone over Gonchar's head.
Hey, that's a good save. It might have looked routine, but I think Pat Peake deflected it on the way to Barrasso.
Peake will get set up in front of that net. He's a tough man to move, given the opportunity out in front. And that's what Pittsburgh will have to contend with in front of Barrasso. Cote sent it in. Barrasso knocks it down. Played it high off the glass. Cote was there, but knocked away from him and out to center by Kevin Miller.
And that's why the Capitals know they have to keep the puck away from Tom Barrasso, especially when the Capitals are on the power play. He is the 3rd defenseman back there. Without his shooting ability, that puck might have still been in deep.
Good check put on the near side by Zubov as he got a good shoulder hit on Michael Pivonka. Washington power play during the regular season struggled. They finished 22nd in the league, and they went 0 for 20 against Pittsburgh in the power play during the regular season. And a whistle behind the play on the icing call. Face off all the way back down the other end. Why, they go, we go. John Saunders.
Well, the Jets and the Red Wings and Winnipeg on the power play. They turn it over at the blue line, and Fedorov and Coffey, 2 of the best skaters in the game, go to work. Fedorov to Coffey. He scores, and it's 1-0 Red Wings. We'll keep you up to date on that right now. Back to Gary and Bill.
John, thanks very much. You take a look at the Western Conference playoff situation right now. You can see Detroit's got their lead there. The series tied, Colorado, Vancouver. Down at the bottom, of course, Grant Fuhr is now out for the rest of the season with that knee injury to St. Louis. Injuries piled up there in the last set of games for a lot of teams, including Philadelphia.
So much so that Jim Schoenfeld said today, he said, you know, I'm not particularly sorry that a lot of teams are now going to have to walk a mile in our shoes, see what it's like here in the playoffs.
They've spent the whole season, Washington has, without key people. I mentioned two of their leading goal scorers have been missing, Connor Walchuk and Jones, both out for extended periods. Juneau trying to hold this one in, headed back into the middle. 25 seconds left in the Washington power play. Joey Juneau dumps it, gets it back along the near side boards. Juneau, they're punching it in down low here, but can't get anybody open out in front. Shot Tenorti, deflected out deep, and it'll be an easy clear here. And will send it the length of the ice, and they'll change it up. Dave McIlwain getting it out of there. 4 seconds left in the Caps power play. Mark Tenorti. Tenorti dumped it into the middle, intercepted there. Yager's back out there. Cote had it. Penalty is over. Caps do not convert on it. Brunette trying to move in, get knocked down. Shot back over on the near side in front of the net. Dale Hunter was out, falling down as he tried to center. A 2-0 Pittsburgh lead. They scored on their 3rd and 4th shots tonight. The same thing that they did in game 1. Back in front. Yager, Barrasso, Hunter. Oh, damn, puck loose. Save by Barrasso. That rebound came out into the low slot area in front of that crowd, and Brunette had an opportunity. Good play, Barrasso. Zubov is looking for Lemieux, who got knocked down at the blue line. That's Mario reaching in behind on Cote. Washington was changing behind the play. Good poke check away from Miller Zubov. Zubov left it there, cleared around the boards by Corey Foster, and not out of the zone. Chiron came over to hold that in for the Caps. Now banged away again by Foster out of there. Both teams trying to get changes completed here. Todd Krieger brings it back in. Todd Krieger, a couple of goals in that first game for Washington. They rely on him to score with all the people they have up. Knocked away at center. Bondra the other way. He's got to come back into his own zone to pick this one up. Sandstrom was up on the check. Near side, Jim Johnson trying to dump it away. Couldn't get it through. Would have been offside if Pittsburgh had played that anyway, and they're going to call it right there. The Penguins, jumping out early in this game, have taken a 2-0 lead.
You're watching the Coors Light Channel.
See, people? That's why we don't sell them like that.
Mr. Smooth, looking good.
Oh, my O's were closed.
And now a Coors Light party prank. Coors Light Channel.
You said you had fished here before.
Don't start me.
You're lost, aren't you?
No.
Come on.
No.
Come on, you can admit it.
No.
Come on, tell me.
I'm not lost. I know where we are. I know it's
Yeah?
Pens leading at home 2-0. Jim Schoenfeld on the chalkboard for his team. Play this game as if it's your last, and if it is your last, make it your greatest monument. We have to win one game 3 more times. He said that may be hackneyed, but that's the way it's got to be done.
No question the Washington Capitals have to overachieve. Their greatest asset is their work ethic. If you look at the scouting report of half of this team at least, the number one thing you would see in the scouting report, great work habits.
They just keep coming at you. Back up onto the near side point, Neil Wilkinson. Down low, Francis centered. Nice save, closing on Nedved. Nedved took that pass and tipped it in on net. Jaromir Jagr. Jagr, Nedved, Francis, what a line. Goal scorers and one of the outstanding assist men in Ron Francis. Mario Lemieux tied for the league lead in that department this year. Check put on by Wilkinson. Rolls that puck free on the near side boards. Up for Nedved. Batted away by Peake. Peake got hit by Francis. Wilkinson will chase on the far side. Wilkinson wants a little in this game. He had a -3 after that first game. He got caught out there. Some of those goals that were picked up, some of the 6 by this Capitals team.
But because the Pittsburgh Penguins are working their bench differently, Coach Eddie Johnston is, a guy like this, rookie Eric Sharon may not be able to play as much. In Game 1, Eric Sharon and Steve Pops, the two rookies that Jim Schoenfeld has in the blue line, played behind Washington's checking line. Pittsburgh played their checking line against Washington's checking line. So Schoenfeld wasn't afraid to put his two rookies out there together, especially with Dale Hunter and Mike Eagles up front. In this game, already, Mario Lemieux and Yager have been out there every time Sharon has been out there, so people like Jim Johnson are going to be paired with Sharon, maybe Cote with Steve Pops now and again. So really the cat and mouse has begun. There was not much in Game 1. There is going to be a bunch here in Game 2.
Michael Babak out on the face-off. Jeff Nelson out there on the near side couldn't handle that. Knocked away to center. Sundstrom got it back into the middle. Kevin Miller. Miller got taken down along the near side towards Cote. Mario Lemieux intercepts, centered it, knocked away from Sundstrom, and a penalty coming up. Tomas Sundstrom got hit that time, trying to move out in front. Hit from behind, hooked a little bit as well. That's going to be the call, and a power play is going to be coming up here for Pittsburgh again. Already with a 2-0 lead. Want to remind you, on ESPN, the NHL will continue our coverage of the playoffs. 7:30 tomorrow, the Avalanche take on the Canucks. Canucks Game 2 of winners. Gino Wadjic, of all people, leading them. The Avalanche, Peter Forsberg, 3 goals, 2 assists in 2 games. 7:30 tomorrow. Nelson goes on the hook at 8:58, and the power play, the second of the game for Pittsburgh. Tomas Sandstrom cutting out in front that time at the edge on Nelson, and he had to reach in and hauling back. He would have been a very good scoring opportunity down low. Nedved's out there to take this face-off against Joey Juneau. Already 1 power play goal here for Pittsburgh. Bang to Tenorti. Tenorti trying to clear. Zubov up, could not hold it in. Ronnie Francis works a point on this power play. Yager, Nedved, and Lemieux are up front. Juneau steps in and drives it back the other way. Washington scored 12 shorthanded goals this year. Pittsburgh gave up 12 on the season. Juneau, 1 to watch breaking. Zubov, Lemieux. Zubov up high in the umbrella. The shot through the screen. Deflected. Lemieux missed it. Going for that short side. Kolzig was down, but he didn't get it on net. Zubov. There's Mario. Zubov fakes the one-timer. Washington staying back. Shot. Deflected wide. May have gone off the paddle and off Lemieux's stick after. Tenorti's got the puck. Tenorti. Lemieux reaching in. Nedved reaching in. Tenorti trying to freeze it. Couldn't. Lemieux had it. Nedved jammed up again by Tenorti. Joey Juneau clears the zone. Shots are 6-5 in favor of the Caps, but they're down by 2.
A lot of free shots from the blue line the Capitals are giving away, and Zubov is able to actually see the net because the penalty killer is not lined up in front of him. The reason he's not lined up in front of him is that Mario Lemieux's over in the half boards. You have to honor his presence.
Lemieux put that one right through the middle. Nobody could tip that. Here's Zubov again. Zubov back. Shot Lemieux. Deflected off the D. That one may have hurt a little. Cote got a piece of that one. Back up for Corey Foster now. Lemieux. Nedved's on the off wing right now, down low. Foster back over to Lemieux. Over to Foster. Foster the shot. Tip knocked away. And Nedved set up in front. Back up. Corey Foster working the points. Got a ton of ice in front of him as Washington stays back. Shot deflected wide again with Yager out in front. Down to 9 on the power play. All of this taking place in the offensive zone. Yager tried to center, had it knocked away. Cleared up the boards by Pavaka, not out Zubov. Zubov back over, penalties over. Foster dropped it inside shot. Save made Kolzig, back to Zubov. Full strength down Washington. Shot again wide of the net. Rebound chipped up to the point. Foster still holds it in. Centering pass knocked away on the far boards. Lemieux goes back up top. Zubov fakes, takes, Kolzig sees it, and he'll cover. What a long shift for everybody, but especially the power play people for Pittsburgh.
Dave Piles customers know why. At Dave Piles Lincoln Mercury, you'll get a deal you feel good about.
They deliver. You know, what they tell you you're going to get is what you get.
They're all top shelf professionals, no question about it.
Well, I really think they're the best around, and I've recommended them to my friends, too.
I have quite a few friends that have gone over and been super satisfied.
They're good, honest people to do business with.
At Dave Piles, you'll get a deal you feel good about.
Time to wake up your love life? What you gonna do? Singles bar? Another blind date? No way. Check out the Telepersonals Network. Now the personals are on TV and they're free. Call a free number, place a free personal ad, and in no time you're hearing from singles ready to meet you. The Telepersonals Network. It's the single best way to meet someone special.
Name that will not go away and should not only here, but also in Wisconsin and the rest of hockey. Badger Bob, former coach here, coached college hockey in Wisconsin. One of the really wonderful people of this game.
Brought the first Stanley Cup to Pittsburgh.
Passing not forgotten here in Pittsburgh. Face-off will come to the left side of Kolzig. Brian Smolinski is out there. Take this draw. Smolinski had it tied up, kicked away into the slot. Krieger's able to clear it out of there. Shot 7-6 now in favor of the Pens, who've got the 2-0 lead. He just jumped on it early. Smolinski, dangerous pass back for Tamer. That's the kind of thing Pittsburgh did in that first game. Lots of bad passes, bad positioning. Smolinski, the attempted clear by Kolzig, who hurt himself right there. Got away with one maybe. Cleared around the boards by Bondra. Off the near side to Krieger. Krieger, Bavonga, Bondra on this line. Right now the forechecking, holding it in. Smolinski moved up. Tamer on the far side. Finally kicked away to center. They got a man out in front. Brunette moving in. Brunette, the shot. Save for Lasso. Puck went wide, and so did the net.
Wow, scary moment for Tom Barrasso. That was Glenn Murray, his own player, that was back-checking on Brunette. And Brunette doesn't have great speed, but he sure found a seam. There's a jam up over in the boards and a great skate play by Dale Hunter to spring his guys loose. It was a quick 2-on-1, kind of a hurry-up 2-on-1. And Glenn Murray just had to do what he could do to try and take away Brunette's shot. And in the process, he fell down. We're right into Tom Barrasso.
Brunette, who came up to fill in for some of the injured people, ended up having 3 goals in 11 games with the Caps towards the end of the season. He's a scorer. He's put up some 100-point seasons in minor league hockey.
He's one of the 6 guys that would be in Portland with the Portland Pirates in Maine playing for Barry Trotz. Barry Trotz done a heck of a job getting his team into the playoffs. They start this weekend in the American League. And naturally, when guys go down in the big time, the best players are the first ones called up. So Barry Trotz is without his 6 top players. They are all here with Washington, and they're still chugging along in Portland.
Kolzig's going to play that instead of letting it go wide. On the near side, Kevin Miller tried to hold that one in, could not. He took it away to Juneau. Joey Juneau stripped of the puck at the near end. Picked back up again by Pete. Pete trying to rush by. Lemieux was there reaching in from behind. Good play by Mironov. Another whistle. It's going to be another penalty. A high sticking call again. And let's see if it's just 2.
Oh, did you see Mark Fawcett stop there?
Kaminsky's getting up. He's touching his face and lip.
Mironov actually just shot the puck over to the boards, but Fawcett for a second, I thought, assumed that he was shooting it at him, and he stopped and stared him down. So wait a second, you're not shooting that at me, are you? There's the takedown by Mironov.
Pittsburgh penalty, number 15.
That was the high stick.
2 minutes for high sticking. On the penalty,
So Dmitry Mironov's out of there, and a power play opportunity for the Caps again at 12:28. Told you about all those injuries to the Washington Capitals. These are not just role players. Most of these people would be playing tonight.
No, and the Penguins admitted that. Jaromir Jagr said this morning, he said there's some good players in there. They don't like to play against number 9, Keith Jones. They don't like to play against number 22, Connor Walchuk. Number 29, Joe Ricci. Jaromir Jagr said, I have a tougher time playing against Joe Ricci than I do against Mark Tenorti. Tenorti comes up and tries to beat Jaromir Jagr in the neutral zone. Jagr said, as long as he doesn't hit me, that's hard to take. I don't mind that confrontation because I think I can get around him. Joe Ricci just backs up, and is real sound stay-at-home defensively.
Cap power play, trying to get the peak out in front, had it blocked. Washington's second power play of the game. They are 0 for 1 on it so far. They will set peak up in the slot area, work Joey Juneau behind the net. Juneau standing, not being challenged. Back the other way, everybody's collapsing in down low. Juneau got it out in front, backhanded just wide of the net by Brunette. Good opportunity and a good play by Juneau to set that up. Puck loose in front, Cote stepped up, couldn't get it. Both of these teams, penalty killing units, have been right almost in the net, in the crease with their goaltenders here, the way they played it in the first period. Gonchar working a point, moves it up for the Caps. Gonchar brings it in, goes by Juno, dumps it off into the corner. There is Andrew Brunette over there, who's playing a lot. Tied up. Pavonka. Pavonka moving. Brunette in. Brunette right through the crease on the attempted tip. Joey Juno, the puck bounced over his stick. Cleared out by Miller. Short-handed the other way. The blue line of Kolzig knocks down the chance by Dave McAlway.
Well, at least from Olaf Kolzig's point of view, he's getting to feel the puck. He had to make a couple of saves after those 2 goals got in on him early. Some of the long shots he's been able to see and get a feel for it now. He didn't have that happen to him early.
Gonchar able to hold it in at the point. Power play down to 30 seconds left on it for the Capitals. Into the middle, Wilkinson. Wilkinson, Pittsburgh, short-handed. Moves it up. Blue line in. Little room. Puck checked away from him. Caps were changing to Michael Pavonka. Bondra crisscross. Off the boards, far side. Tipped in front again, and down they go. Nice play by Morasso. He's got his legs out there and knocked down Pavonka. Took him down with him. It'll be ragged back by Mario Lemieux, and the penalty is over. And the Capitals are 0 for 2 on the power play. Pittsburgh up 2-0. Again, Zubov right in front of his own netminder. I mean, almost behind him.
Not just a job, it's an adventure.
Holy cow. Cleared ahead at center. Pavonka's pass blocked up by Zubov. 2-on-2 now. Tomas Sandstrom to Yager. Yager on Tenorti. Wraparound chance. Tenorti went in front instead of behind, and there was the puck. Capitals change it up. Knocked away again by Yager. All these scores, of course, for Pittsburgh, Lemieux and Yager. Lemieux finishing 1 in almost every category, and Yager right behind him. Goals, assists, and everything else. Smolinski takes the hit from Cote. Cleared around by Jim Johnson, and it does come out of the zone. Shot right back in. Corey Foster, the 27-year-old, sent it in. Foster working on defense. Not a lot of NHL time in his career, but at 27, he's seen a lot of minor league games.
Gary, he's on the power play. We saw him on the Penguins power play moments ago because he has a cannon. He really didn't get 2 good shots away, but if he has time, watch his shot.
Put on the near side. Still leveled into the zone by Krieger. Joey Juno dropping it back. Puck checked away. Kelly Miller, who was cutting through the middle that time, just couldn't handle that to get it from behind. Gonchar bangs it off the boards. Good job of checking by Glenn Murray, 27 in white out there for Pittsburgh. Down goes Joey Juno again. He and Mironov exchange a couple of hits. Back comes the Cap. Peeks the shot. Deflected. Down on the ice went Corey Foster to block that shot for the Pens. Lemieux around. Takes the bounce. Tenorti will get chased. 3:53 to go, first period. Pittsburgh leading it 2-0, out shooting the Capitals 9-8. Capitals won the first game with an amazing comeback, winning it 6-4 after they had trailed 4-1.
The new reloadable smart card. The future is happening now down under and on its way here. From MasterCard, it's smart money.
You're watching the Coors Light Channel.
On November 3rd, 48,000 Coors Light cans volunteered for Cans Across America. One can's amazing story next.
Coors Light, the official beer of hard-playing dogs.
To preserve the cool taste of the Rockies, Coors Light is always shipped cold.
Yeah, great for you, but I'm freezing my fajitas off.
To drink Coors Light, you must be at least Scandian.
Say, that's not butter.
The Coors Light Channel.
Sunday, it's Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Conference quarterfinals, and the NHL on Fox will be there to bring you all the action and excitement as the best players in the league vie for the most historic prize in all of sports. Coverage begins at 3 Eastern, 12 Pacific. Check local listings for the game and time in your area on Fox. Old Kolzig, who has been tested here with some pretty good chances. 2 got by him. Nedved and Joseph have the goals.
Jim Schoenfeld is really going at it. At least he was a second ago, and he's still going at it long distance with Mark Fawcett, the referee, and it's about changes. When the face-off is deep in Washington's zone, Jim Schoenfeld has to be very careful not to get the wrong guys stuck out there. In other words, Pittsburgh has the last change. So Jim Schoenfeld has to make sure if he's got a rookie out there, if he's got the wrong line out there, he's got to change quickly and get the right line out there so that Pittsburgh then is forced to take a look to see what they're going to do. But if he waits and Eddie Johnson gets his line out there, that's when Mark Bossett says to Jim Schoenfeld, oh, you can't change now. Pittsburgh just had the last change.
So that's the game going on the benches. Jaromir Jagr, after Nedved won the draw, Jagr takes a big shot to the chops right there. Boy, some pretty good banging going on the near side. Jagr still was going at it out there with Eric Sharon. A couple of heavyweights. Sharon, very tough. Brunette cleared that one into the zone. Pittsburgh up 2-zip here in this first period. Cleared around near side. Jagr could not handle that. An 80-degree day here in Pittsburgh today, but they have this building very cool. Some pretty good ice out there for this game with a high humidity and high heat level outdoors. Right back in on the near side by Hunter. Got taken out of the play, swung around, and Gonchar is able to hold it in. Gonchar the shot, blocked out deep into the corner. Zubov trying to clear, could not get it up. Eagles over there, banged it down. Mike Eagles, and it's pinned up against the boards. Francis, Hunter, Zubov, Eagles.
Check Dale Hunter out. Junkyard Dog likes it in tight places in the corner like that. Dale Hunter is still one of the smallest guys, still one of the toughest guys. Talked to Brian Smolinski this morning about facing off against him. He said he is tough. Not talking about he is difficult to beat. He is physically tough. He gets in there with his low center of gravity, uses his helmet. He's banging off people's chins and off their noses. He's great using his legs. He'll do whatever he has to do to win the face-off, and that's why he's considered a tough guy.
Mironov and Juno have had a tete-a-tete a couple of times out here in this game, including this one. Juno trying to avoid that hit. Mironov, not appreciating the fact he was hanging onto his leg, thought about, maybe not.
Juno actually held his skate a little bit, and that's a little dangerous because, see that? When a guy pulls his skate blade away, better watch it. You can get your hand cut, your leg cut, depending on how you're holding the skate.
Mario Lemieux has not been a big factor in this game so far. Out there off this face-off. It's one back out through center. Barrasso coming back in behind the net to get it. Again, Washington makes the immediate change to match up with Mario Lemieux out there. Lemieux had that one go off his skates. Corey Foster could not control. The Capitals trying to get one here with 2:33 left to go in this first period.
Gary, I don't think Jim Schoenfeld wants rookie Eric Sharon out there against either Jaromir Jagr or Mario Lemieux. That's what the problem was when he was jawing at Mark Bossett, and he pulled Sharon off as soon as the puck was dropped. Here again, Mario Lemieux came out. Immediately, Schoenfeld pulled Eric Sharon off.
And Mario Lemieux, when these kinds of things happen, can get a little frustrated. He would just as soon go out and play against whoever happens to be out on the ice at the time. But when he has to go through this, he actually ends up losing some ice time. That's something Mario Lemieux never wants to have happen. You see his career playoff numbers? They are outstanding, obviously. He will go sit now, however. Mario Lemieux, a great comeback story to pick up that scoring title one more time in the NHL.
He'll probably get more ice time tonight than he did in Game 1. Eddie Johnson kept it with his line. A lot of people thought that he might double shift and put him out there with the checking line every once in a while so that he could actually face Eric Sharon and Steve Pops. I mean, it really puts Jim Schoenfeld in a tough spot if he can't wheel his sixth defenseman in. And if you keep Mario Lemieux on the ice long enough, Jim Schoenfeld's going to be hard-pressed. He's going to have to play Steve Pops sooner or later. He's going to have to play Eric Sharon sooner or later. And he doesn't want to have to do that unless they're out there against guys that aren't as good offensively as Mario Lemieux.
Schoenfeld 19-19 in playoff games with Washington and the New Jersey Devils. His second season in Washington, sixth season or part thereof as a head coach in the National Hockey League. Jim Johnson takes it back. Great to have you with us Friday night here in Pittsburgh. Looks like they've got a sellout crowd. I haven't told that officially yet. They've packed into the igloo here. Back out through center. Smolinski almost. Cote moved in. Smolinski looked like he was ready to go. He just missed Cote in that potential check right there as well. Jammed in the corner. Brad Lauer, who had started on the first line in Game 1, has been flip-flopped with Kevin Miller for this game. Moved down to the so-called third line. Lauer had done a lot of defensive work in that first game. Flip for Tenorti coming back to get it. 1:33 left to go in this first period. 9-8 the shots in favor of the Pens, who came out and do if they do so well, and jump out to an early lead. Gonchar sent it in. Tamer was there, overskated, came back to Zubov. Zubov's played a lot here in the first. Jaromir Jagr. Jagr trying to move it in, had a reach back behind him. That's whistled, I think, a two-liner here. It'll be an offside pass. Want to remind you, our coverage on ESPN and on the Deuce will continue on Sunday night. Toronto with Gilmore taking on St. Louis with Gretzky, but without Grant Fuhr. Doug Gilmore with 4 points, assists so far in that series. Toronto, St. Louis, Sunday night on the Deuce at 7:30 Eastern. Now the question, who is the third goaltender in the St. Louis organization?
It would be Racine,
who was up for part of the year.
But he and John Casey split the year in St. Louis. They both took turns backing up the Iron Man, Grant Fuhr, but those will be the two men that St. Louis will have now.
Well, we'll see how they rise to the occasion with Fuhr out of there. Boy, what an Iron.
Mention Racine. Bruce Racine. Bruce Racine.
Irony that he would have played all those games and then get hurt in the playoffs. There are the other games that are going on, which we'll keep you abreast of here. Red Wings, of course, leading in that series. We'll have all the highlights and scores coming up for you in a minute 14. Take you back to John and Barry. Face-off coming just inside the line. Ronnie Francis is winning yet another draw. Picked up by Zubov. Zubov loves to rush it. Dropped it off on the wide side. Poke checked away from Nedved. Nedved reaching in, trying to hold it in. Dow's good play. Jagr. Jaromir Jagr. Gonchar on it. 1 minute left to go in the period. Zinordi hit him. Still couldn't get him. Comes back on to Zubov. Zubov the shot. Deflected off the D. Good chance for Pittsburgh. Back for Jagr. Jagr trying to get open a little room. Got it. Now comes back to the forehand side. Jagger's shot knocked away by Kolzig. Picked up by Gonchar. He clears it out. Pavanka in the middle. Intercepted Zubov. Plenty of time here. Jagr. Backhand, forehand shot. Kolzig down. Still makes the save. Kolzig down well ahead of the shot. But Jaromir Jagr could not pick it up to get it over him.
No, and Olaf Kolzig gambled, and he won this one because he went down flat. Jaromir Jagr can get it up real high, real quickly. Here's what Washington wants to do against Mario Lemieux and against Jaromir Jagr. They don't want their defensemen isolated one-on-one. So look, you got 4 guys dressed in Caps uniforms, and if we let this roll, you're going to see another one come into the picture right there. All 5 back in deep. I mean, Jaromir Jagr and Mario Lemieux get so much respect that the Washington Capitals do not want them to be able to ISO one-on-one with their defensemen like this.
Mario Lemieux will take the draw. 31 seconds remaining. Lemieux tried to run that one in himself in the face-off. Hunter was able to deflect it wide. Shot right back in by Foster. The Capitals down 2-0. Eagles at center, knocked away by Lemieux. Could not control. Eagles reaching back behind him, is onside though. Came up along that blue line. Caps would love to get one here with only 10 seconds left to go. Eagles along the boards. Foster there with him. Lemieux moved over, centering past Mironov, picked it up. Mironov starts it up. Miller. Last Sandstrom could not handle that one. Back comes Joey Shuno, and that's it. Shuno and Mironov now again.
Oh, Dale Hunter is right there. Yeah, don't look for the trouble to start between Shuno and Mironov. Just watch 32 Dale Hunter. He's pushing, shoving with Kevin Miller. That's Kevin Miller on the left wearing number 8 for Pittsburgh. And Dale Hunter with a fire in his eyes.
Nedved from Francis and Lemieux at 3:03. Joseph from Murray and Smolenski at 3:39. One even strength, won the power play, and the Penguins, who are trying to even the series at 1-1, have a 2-0 lead after 1. John Saunders.
All right, Gary and Bill alongside Barry Melrose. Okay, for Jim Schoenfeld, it worked in Game 1, making the goaltending switch. Should he make it here?
I think he should be. Let's be serious. Jim Carey's the #1 goaltender. They're not going to win without Jim Carey. Put him in a non-pressure situation, being down 2 goals, maybe 3 goals, but they put him in the next